about Backlash.
Okay. Well, for those of you that didn't know, once again, last night was Backlash. It was in Randy Orton's hometown in St. Louis at the Enterprise Center. And this premium event started off with a fatal four-way, excuse me, the United States Championship. And it wouldn't be a Sunday without Mr. 24/7 get to go first. So this is a matchup where Jacob Batu was defending against Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, and Damian Priest. I was going to ask if you guys graded the God Bless America. I figured maybe we'd start off with that, but no, kidding. Mr. 24/7, the floor is yours.
And it's not a promo.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yep.
That's why I wanted to start off with like the Star Spangled Banner, or maybe we could grade the pre-show, but.
Thank you for the rose.
I mean, I will give that guy some props. I thought he actually did a pretty good job singing. Usually, well, not usually, but a lot of times I don't know who the people are. I didn't know who he was, and I kind of went into it like, oh boy, here we go. And it was good. I thought he did a good job. Anyway, the match was good. I think all four guys did their thing. There was one thing right in the beginning. I didn't really understand why pretty much right when the bell rung, Priest and Drew just kind of went out on their own, just kind of went out of the ring and just started doing their thing out there. I was like, at least give us a minute or two of everybody in there kind of doing their thing, but whatever. They kind of went outside and did their thing, and Jacob and LA brought inside. And I mean, it was just them giving us what they got. I mean, there wasn't nothing special, and it wasn't bad. It was just pretty good wrestling. Jacob, I mean, we say it all the time. Jacob's a monster. He's a beast, and I love watching him. Let's see. Drew, at one point, pretty much started just taking everyone out. But I think they all had that spot at some point in the match where they all just kind of took, to me, it was a typical fatal four-way. All four guys had the chance to get all their stuff in. They all had the chances to win the match. They actually, Drew and Priest went into the crowd, fought out there, and then Priest went to give him the South of Heaven, I believe, and he missed the table or something. Drew took a pretty bad freaking spot there. Looked like it hurt pretty bad, and I seen something earlier about he might actually have an injury. Maybe I'm not sure how true it was, but if I had to guess, I'd say he probably really does. And I mean, they just made for a good match. They all did their thing. I was happy with everything, and then Solo comes out with Jeff Cobb. I seen something about it, but I only seen one little thing about Jeff Cobb maybe coming to the. I didn't see much about he's going to be at Backlash. So the fact that he was there, I was like, oh wow, all right, this is cool, because I don't know much of Jeff Cobb, but he looks like a beast. He looks like a big dude that maybe he'll be good in the WWE. I don't know. I'm anxious to see though. Drew's the table spot with Drew, and then LA went to put Jacob through the announce desk, and that's when Solo and Cobb came out. And Cobb attacked LA, and Priest and Drew were pretty much out of the match at this point. They pretty much were in the crowd. They pretty much weren't coming back. Cobb and Solo attack LA, and Jacob just looks at him like, what's going on? He's giving him that mean mug look, like da-da-da, but then he's like, screw it. He goes in, does the moonsault, takes advantage of them taking LA out. Moonsault, 1, 2, 3, Jacob wins. So I'm okay with it. Usually I hate when they kind of mess up the finish, but I was okay with it. You know, we got Jeff Cobb here, so like I said, I'm anxious to see where we go with him. The match I thought was good. Good way to start it. They all look good. I gave it a B.
Alrighty. Thank you, Greg. Yeah, I enjoyed this match. It was back and forth. You know, the guys were, like DJ had mentioned before, you know, Drew and Damian were off doing their own thing when the match started. And I think that's just to build up a little bit more of their feud. Solo was, you know, he came down, you know, Jacob Fatu and LA Knight were going at it in the ring. And then when he went to go try and put him through the table, he walks over and I looked at this guy. Now, I've never seen Jeff Cobb. I wouldn't know Jeff Cobb from a hole in the wall. But when I saw him, I said, holy shit, that's Zilla Fatu. Because he looks just like him. And it was like, no, okay. Then I realized that when he said it was Jeff Cobb, it's like, okay, I heard somebody mention the guy's name before. So, but yeah, he's a little short, stocky guy. I wonder if he's going to, you know, just be part of the bloodline or if he's going to be an enforcer or whatever. I don't know. But I thought this was a good match. Drew and Damian, I mean, they really went at it in the crowd. Those guys are just, I mean, their matches are going to be epic, I think, when they get a chance to go one-on-one. I think we're going to see them one-on-one at Saturday night's main event. But
Drew and Damian?
yeah, Drew and Damian Priest.
And they just fought at WrestleMania. They fight all the time. What do you mean, finally fight?
Oh, I didn't mean finally, but I'm waiting for another match between them. So it should be another good encounter between the two. I think the right guy got the win. The crowd loves Jacob. I gave it a B+.
Okay. Yeah, this was, I mean, I love this for an opening match. Yeah, I will admit, in the beginning, you know, the four guys separating off into their own personal feuds was a little, you know, okay. Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre fighting outside, while LA Knight and Jacob Fatu fighting inside. But that opening 5 minutes where LA Knight just like it looked like a squash match, like it looked like a 3-on-1 handicap match. He was just knocking everybody down, had a nice long rampage, and then it shifted to somebody else. I mean, Damian Priest was, you know, shut up really good in this match. The Hurricane Rana he did from the top rope to Fatu looked really good. You don't normally see stuff like that. Obviously, it is now his new staple is doing old school, which, I mean, I'm sure he called up The Undertaker and asked for permission, not just respect, to do it. But, I mean, Undertaker did it so, like, smoothly where Damian Priest is holding on to him outside the ring and outside the ring apron, and then he's crawling up, but the other guy's helping him go up. No, it just, you know, it's already time to retire that move. But then we get this village out to the outside. Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre are on top of that big box, and then, of course, there's these sectioned off set of tables in the middle of nothing that has plates and cups and plastic silver on it. I don't know how it gets there when there's nothing else around. Then Damian Priest gives him the South of Heaven. And it was reported by Fightful Select that Damian Priest actually did indeed suffer a dental injury. So I don't know if when he came down, he landed weird and fucked up his teeth or something, but he was not pleased. I don't know, once again, if it looked like there was a little bit of carpeting or some type of mat under the table. It looked like there may have been a little bit, maybe something wasn't right there. I don't know. But then we go back, and while all this is happening outside, I don't know what we're Jacob and LA doing? Just kind of chilling, watching, looking? Who knows? Camera comes back, Solo drags him out. Jeff Cobb was up. I thought Jeff Cobb was taller. I thought he was like 6'5", 6'6", like just a little shorter version of a Braun Strowman, the way he was described as being, a monster man, but he's same size as like Solo and Jacob and whatnot. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with him, and if that just causes more of a rift. Women, they're a little bit of a group because, Tagaloa's not back for another month or two, and Tamataga, who knows with him? He's got an undisclosed injury out for an undisclosed period of time. So, yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Once again, it was a fantastic opening bout. And I really loved everything about this. I gave it an A-.
Okay. All right, guys, let's keep tapping that screen now. Come on, good job. Let's get to 1K.
All right. After that, we went to the matchup for the women's intercontinental title bout. It was Lyra Valkyrie defending against the man, Becky Lynch. Trev, you're up first.
Thank you. Yeah, I love this match. This had everything in this match. I mean, both of them just going at each other. Lyra is just so good. I mean, I really expect to see. I really expect to see her with a lengthy title run. I think. I mean, she's getting better on the mic. She's good in the ring. Her and Becky just went back and forth, and I mean, at one point I thought it was going to be like, well, hey, and anybody could win this. Becky's got a good shot. And then Lyra put that move on her. I don't know what it was, where she swinging her back and forth, and she did it like 3 times, 4 times, and I just thought it was a really good match. I'd like to see another match between the two again, and hey, Lyra just retains her title, and we'll see what's next. We'll see what's next. If it's not Becky, then we'll just see what's next for Lyra. I gave it an A.
Okay. I'm up next. One thing I'll say is both women went 200% for the entire match. They really did go full throttle. As Booker T likes to say, not Booker T, sorry. Jacob Fatu says, all brakes, all gas, no brakes. Booker T likes to say, no bread, no water, just meat. That's what we got out of 2 women. These 2, they went for only,
13. I think it was 13, wasn't it?
Yeah, somehow it went back to Backlash of last year. Yeah, that wasn't there. Yeah, it was
13 even, maybe?
No, the women, this one, 18:45.
18.
This was the second longest match of the night, and I wanted more. That little swinging, that hanging submission, they need to come up with a name for it. I've never seen anybody do anything with that. And then she had her the other one where she kind of bent her legs back and over and held her up, and then rolled her over 3 different times. But if they really one of these times, she's got to be in a match where that submission, that swinging submission, causes somebody to tap out or give up to really make it seem more dangerous. She executed one of the most perfect looking Northern Lights suplexes. The moment Lyra came to NXT from NXT UK, I thought she was just smooth and excellent, and she's proving every bit of that. One of the funny parts was how Becky Lynch mocked Lyra's fiance sitting there right in the front row. I guess he's an Irish wrestler. Has not yet to make his way over to the mainland, as we like to call it. After the match was over, Lyra was holding her nose, and old Michael Cole was saying it might be broken. There was no blood, but hey, just because there's no blood doesn't mean it wasn't broken. And like the sore sport after she lost, Becky, kind of beat down on Lyra a little bit. Obviously, that's going to lead to something else down the line. Lyra's, holding her shoulder after getting the disarmer put on her after the match was over. But yeah, I love this match as well. I gave this my second straight A-.
Okay.
Louise got 20/7.
Definitely a good match. They both, like you said, they both gave it their all. Before I get in the match, there's one thing that bothered me, and it seems to be happening a lot lately in pretty much all the matches. Is they're giving each other their finishing moves like 10 times, and they're kicking out of them. Why are they finishing moves then? You know what I mean? Stop doing that. Like, Lyra showed us that she has awesome moves. She can give crazy moves. Becky, we all know, can too. So why are they finishing move, kicking out? They're basically just taken away from them, in my opinion. Because if they're doing it so much, we're seeing the same moves over and over. Now, yes, we've seen a lot of other moves in this match, so I'm not really saying that it was all just the same moves, but we've seen them a whole bunch of times. So to me, it was just like, come on. But I can't even say that like made this match bad, because it didn't. They went all out, and it was awesome. Becky, I thought, did a good job at just being a heel. She got pissed off, grabbed the chair at one point. The ref took it away from her, and as she was getting rid of the chair, Becky runs over, takes the top, thing off the top turnbuckle, and she's going to try to throw Lyra into it. Referee goes to kind of put the thing back on, and that's when we get a finish and maybe a 3 count, but the ref is late getting there. So I thought it was all right spot. It's just Becky being heel, and I liked it. But yeah, they both gave it their all. We've seen some wild moves back and forth. I thought numerous times Becky was going to win. Then numerous times I thought Lyra was about to finish it. So, the false finishes were really good. Becky ended up.
Thank you, everybody.
I think at the end, Becky ended up going for a pin, and Lyra countered and kind of just pinned her back. It was a little weird. The very last few seconds, like the finish of the match was a little weird. It looked a little clunky a little bit, but again, I can't even knock anything. They gave it their all, and it was awesome. I would say I wanted Becky to win because that's who I picked, but I'm definitely okay with Lyra retaining. It just goes to show that she's a great champion. She beat Becky Lynch, in a title match. So I thought it was good. I also went B here. I think B plus even would have been right. I got B written down. But
can't even give it a DJ cover.
I gave every match a B except the last 2 matches.
Okay.
Greg, didn't you say that Jessica Carr was training at the Performance Center?
She wrestles on Evolve as Helix.
Okay, because when Becky picked up that chair, I was waiting for Jessica to go, put it down, bam! That would have been something.
Yeah, but I think the reason why she dresses up with a mask and this Helix, and her hair's all curly and kind of, her hair looks like a female version of what the Ultimate Warrior's hair looked like. It's not straight and pulled back like it is. I think it is to distance herself as much as possible from her referee to in-ring competitor.
Okay.
And she's not that good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's still very, 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 like a very, 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 very dark shade of green.
Okay.
Very green. All right, after that, we then went to the next matchup. We went from the women's IC title to the men's IC title as Dominic Mysterio made his way to the ring to defend against Penta. I could lead off with this one. These guys have had, they've developed in just a short period of time a lot of chemistry working together. But I'm going to say this was probably the best singles match I saw Dominic Mysterio wrestling in his career. He was every bit. He deserved every single cheer, every single "this is awesome" they got in this match. Keeping up and actually outperforming one of what a lot of people regard as one of the best luchadors in the not only in the company but in the wrestling world, in Penta. Dirty Dominic was great in this match. I enjoyed everything in this match until we had Carlito come down. JD, I'm sorry, you lost it for me. It's now JD McDummy again and Finn Balor. They couldn't figure out what the hell they were doing with the chair. Finn Balor took his time. Then they were seen and they were thrown out. So then, okay, all right, well, maybe then, okay, Penta's El Grande Americano comes out with the headbutt, and then that's it. We get a frog splash from Dominic Mysterio. So the right person won what could have been potentially, for me, match of the night. I should be my third straight A-, but with the wonky finish, why does El Grande Americano have? Okay, great. I get appearance points. It doesn't matter. I have a bye in this week's fantasy, so it didn't matter for me that he came out. Come out next week when it counts. But honestly, really, and a nice touch from Mysterio. They pointed out that his ring homage to, I guess his godfather or somebody, Psychosis, uncle maybe?
Uncle.
Uncle, okay. It was pretty disappointing when it ended. A great match, could have been an A-. I have to knock it down to a solid straight up B.
Okay. Hey, Shannon. Thank you for coming in. Okay, guys, keep tapping that screen. Come on.
Mr. 24/7.
I gotta agree, man. This was a great match from Dom. It's wild to hear myself say that. But I can't even. I
told you wake up.
I can't even front anymore. I can't say anything bad about Dom anymore. The boy's just good. He's good. And it showed here because Penta is awesome and they hung with each other. I think the chemistry between them is great. It just made for a really good match. And with Finn and them coming out, I was like, come on. But they didn't really do that much. They kind of got thrown out pretty fast. And what I noticed in it, and I don't know if it's part of what they're doing, but right when they got thrown out, JD started talking a little shit to Finn. Kind of like, what are you doing, da-da-da-da-da. So it's kind of like maybe that spot, them coming out, was not for the match. It was for the storyline, is what I kind of took out of it. The storyline of maybe them turning on Finn eventually, So I was okay with that whole part because they got thrown out fast. They didn't do much. I think Carlito might have jumped up on the ring real quick or something, but there was nothing that really, did anything to the actual match. So I was all right with it. And yeah, they gave us a good match, man. Dominic, the fans were behind them, like they have been for the last, however long, last month or so. They just been cheering the crap out of them. El Grande, yeah. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I get that he's going after the other luchadors and everything. I get that, but man, for us to be getting such a good match, I wish nobody came out. You know, I wish we would have just got a straight up good finish. You know, like I would have been. I understand they wanted to probably keep Penta looking a little stronger, but I would have been okay with Dom just straight up beating him. You know, but whatever. I thought it was good. I thought they both did their thing. When after the match, when Dominic was leaving, he was standing there with Finn and the rest of them. I think they came back out or whatever, however it happened. But they showed a still of them, and Finn, the face Finn was giving Dom behind his back. Like it looked like he was about to just start getting him. So I'm really, really anxious to see where they go with this. If they go that route of Finn finally fighting one of them or turning bait, something, you know, because I don't really know where else the whole Judgment Day thing can go. Right. You know, so I'm anxious to see that part of it. But the match itself, I got nothing bad to say. I gave it a B also. Solid match.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with everything both you guys said. I mean, I think WWE is going to keep the IC title on Dom, you know, for quite a while. I mean, the crowd just loves him. And then during the match, you know, he's matching Penta. It seems like every time the Judgment Day comes out, Carlito always seems to be the first one out. But yeah, like DJ said, they weren't out there too long before the referee threw them out. And you know, when Finn Balor picked up the chair, like DJ said, you know, kind of looked like he didn't know what to do with it. But I think Dominic had a great match. Penta had a great match. It was just ruined by El Grande Americano sticking his nose in it again. And so, but yeah, that was the only thing that I didn't like about it. But I enjoyed everything about this match. The crowd was behind everybody. The crowd was behind both guys. I'm kind of glad that Judgment Day didn't physically interfere, so that was a good thing. You know, just coming out can be a little distracting. I understand that, but this match was tremendous. I gave it an A minus.
Okay. After that, we then went to the only non-title match of the evening, as was the announcer Pat McAfee taking on the ring general Gunther. Mr. 24/7, you lead us off.
Okay, guys, come on. We still need the tops for 1K. Come on.
Real quick, if you think about it, with Dominic, not too long ago, that boy couldn't even get a word out. He was on the mic, and he couldn't even talk without getting booed out of the plate. So the fact that it's a total 360, you know, I'm happy for him. Like but anyway, Gunther Pat McAfee, I thought was freaking awesome. You know, going into it, I didn't really know what to expect. Like, I know what Pat can do. He's not bad. He's pretty good, you know. So I didn't know what to expect because because Gunther tapped the J at Mania, they were going to try to just give him maybe a squash or something similar to a squash match and just to kind of build him back up. But that was far from what we got. I thought McAfee did a hell of a job. I mean, he stayed with him the whole time. They chopped the shit out of each other. Really got chopped up, and that boy's chest looked crazy. I like even Gunther gave him a tip of the hat at the end, you know, because that boy stayed in with everything. He third bun kind of, you know, a punter. kicks, and he was getting a lot of moves. He did do. He's trying to but I thought he was doing. Can we move? Am I out?
Yeah, you're going in and out.
I'm out.
Well, no, you're in now, but you're breaking up.
Okay. Yeah, we're still trying to figure out what to do. Like, it's not good at all. Anyway, that did very love to see it. And Michael Cole, time, at first he's going, I'm going to be biased. He's like, usually I don't, but I'm going to be biased in this match. I want Pat, da-da-da-da-da. Talking's going there. Just finish it ready. And so I'm going to be we got what you kind of do what we got. You got in the ring. Play trying to get and don't bring me. So you.
Yeah, now we lost DJ.
Fuck. Yeah.
All right, yeah, I could. Now you're back on.
So he put a sleeper on him, and I thought, oh, this is it. And then we kind of get the whole, he's fighting back, and he gets out. And then eventually puts it back on him, and he passes him out. So I thought it was awesome. Really loved every bit of it. There wasn't a whole lot to it, but what it was, I thought was awesome. Tons of props for Pat. I gave it an A.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, kudos to Pat McAfee. I mean, I didn't even know he knew how to lock up collar and elbow, to be honest with you. But he wasn't afraid, and that was a good thing. He wasn't intimidated by Gunther. I mean, he got in a lot of good shots, got in a lot of good chops. Michael Cole was just out of his seat, cheering him on. Then he goes to the ring, and Gunther, I guess McAfee did some drop kick or something, and Gunther fell, and he went down for the pin, and Michael Cole's holding his foot down. Yeah. And then I was really surprised. I mean, well, no, I can understand why they didn't do it, because they would have had nobody in commentary. But I was waiting for Wade Barrett to, pop up and do something or say something or whatever. But, that goes to show you the bond between Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. I mean, it was an amazing thing to see for me, because Pat McAfee is not a wrestler. And he went in the ring with one of the toughest, strongest guys in WWE. And I thought he had a good performance. And, Gunther stuck his hand out to shake his hand afterwards. I thought that Gunther was going to attack both of them at the end. And he really didn't. Kind of showed a little mercy for him, I guess. But I thought it was a really good match. Kudos to Pat McAfee for, not showing intimidation and not being afraid. I gave it a B+.
Okay. So did you totally forget that Pat McAfee came into NXT as a wrestler? He was in War Games matches. He made a debut on the main roster the same night that Dominic Mysterio made his main roster debut, and we were like, who had the better showing? Pat McAfee doing a fucking moonsault off the top of War Games.
That's right.
I mean, and beyond anything, the man is an athlete. Yes, he was a punter, but when was the last time you saw punters jacked like Pat McAfee was? He didn't put on all that muscle and stuff after the NFL. So I know he had he said, he said, referred to Gunther as a kid. Pat McAfee's only 9 months older than Gunther. Gunther's only 1 inch taller and 15 pounds bigger than McAfee. So I don't know why so many people thought it was going to be just okay, so he's not Gunther. Who is?
Right.
So, what's far as this match goes, it was there's not much more that I can say. You know, the running kicks from Pat McAfee, you know, it's kind of his bread and butter. And you know, Michael Cole repeatedly pleading with Gunther, you know, just to end the match several times, and you can almost tell that Gunther was trying his best not to laugh at several points in this match, which kind of, you know, really helped. Yes, Pat McAfee, once again, not an overall experienced wrestler, tripped as he was going over the top rope, but he recovered rather well. Michael Cole holding down Gunther was kind of, kind of a funny moment. The match was more competitive than it needed to be, but they did a good job making an entertaining story, even though it didn't make sense at part of the times. So, I mean, as a wrestling match, it was passable, it was okay, but as an entertaining story, this was a lot of fun. I gave it a B minus.
All right, yeah, DJ. I don't know what to make of that match that you just showed. I mean, Saturday night's main event, John Cena against R-Truth. I mean, I don't know what to make of that right now.
What are you talking about?
DJ just put something up on the screen on his phone. It said Saturday night's main event, John Cena versus R-Truth.
Well, the only thing that I have for that is Jey Uso versus Logan Paul.
No.
That's something that's listed on the official Wikipedia page for Saturday Night Main Event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. On May 24th in Tampa.
Yep. So, all righty.
All right, and then moving on to the main event, where it was John Cena defending his undisputed WWE Championship against the Viper, Randy Orton. Trivia, you are up.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I got everything I thought I was going to get out of this match. John Cena and Randy Orton been going at it with each other for 25 years. Granted, they are a little bit older, but Randy Orton's still in great shape. John Cena's still in good shape. There was a point in time where I don't know if you guys caught it, but I know that they have. I know a lot of times when you get thrown into the table or you get thrown into the steps, sometimes you don't hit it, sometimes you do. It really looked like the referee hit the stairs outside, whether it was with his hands, his arms, his face, whatever. He hit the stairs, and it took him a long. Hey, Brandon, it took him a long time to get up. Another referee comes in, he got hit, and it's like, I mean, I kind of figured something like that was going to happen because whenever you have a big title match like that, that usually happens. And then the backstage guys came in, and it was an RKO party. I'm expecting Randy Orton to get some fines. Nick Aldis got his fourth RKO, I think. So I wouldn't be surprised if those guys, Nick Aldis, handed out another fine to Randy Orton. But I thought it was a good match. I'm kind of glad, in a way. I was happy that John Cena won because now I can see how much longer his title reign is going to go on now that he's in the final stages of his career. I'd really like to see him keep the title on him until his final match. Let him go out as champion. But I don't know if they're going to do that. That's what I'd like to see. But I don't know if they're going to do that. But I enjoyed the match a lot. The crowd was into it. The security guys, the guys backstage, they did whatever they could. I gave it an A.
Okay. I mean, I'm up next. So Um, excuse me. They kind of did they're feeling out. They were kind of checking each other out, looking at each other. So it took a little bit before they locked up for the first time. Neither man gave an inch. So then they broke the hold, circled each other, and locked up again. And at that point, I'm like, okay, all right, come on, guys, come on. And then, Randy Orton poked Cena in the eye after Cena, put his hand out and then smacked him. And they made the comment, that's what John Cena wanted Cody Rhodes to do, wanted to bring that little bit out of him. And just, once they really got into it a little bit more, it turned into something, a match that these two have always had. Granted, they were very different than they were 10 years ago. So they paced themselves and built up to the big moments instead of trying to pack it in as much as they could. This match went almost 28 minutes. And I was like, Mike messaged me at like 9:18, said, this match is the last match, blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's not going to go 3 hours. I'm like, yeah. And they want to going up here. 9:43 is when the final little credits there says executive producers Stan, whatever, and Paul Levesque, and so it was a good match. It was a solid main event, and then towards the end, okay, the first ref. I mean, Christ, I don't have legs, and I could have gotten out of the way of Cena coming in and swinging that thumb the first time. I'm like, what the fuck was that? He gave him a glove back with a plastic glove. I don't know. And then the referee's down for 3 hours and 42 minutes. Then he finally gets back to his feet. But then he said, you know what? That hit to the head with the belt, that really didn't look like much. I'm just going to dive headfirst in these steps and knock myself the fuck out. And that's exactly what he did. I heard that. It was just like, holy shit. Wrestlers don't hit it as hard as he did. And then he does the RKO, and he looked, all these producers come out, and nobody wanted to get him the free count. And once again, Nick Galt was there, and then it was like RKO, like Oprah, you get an RKO, you get an RKO, everybody gets an RKO. And then, just when it seems like we're getting ready, he's lining up for the punt. Fucking R-Truth comes out to the ring, which then distracted Orton up for Cena to get him a low blow. He then hit Randy Orton with the title. Then the ref came in, counted 1, 2, 3. Randy Orton holds on to his belt in a very entertaining match, and I liked it. Of the other championship matches, this was my least favorite, but it didn't have the overall wonky ending. But I did give it a solid B.
All right, that's right, Nat Bat. RKO for everybody. Yep.
Mr. 24/7 last but not least, the heartbroken Mr. 24/7.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think we all knew he wasn't going to win, but frick, I wanted him to so bad. But at least with him not going to win, at least they let him hand out RKOs to everybody. At least they gave the fans pretty much what. I mean, they wanted him to win the title, but at least they gave him a show, and it was. It took a little bit. I'd say the second half of the match, I have it written down here and underlined somewhere. It brought me back to the old days. Like, they kind of got into it pretty good. Mostly on the outside. There was at one point where Randy went to give John the AA through the announce desk, and it just didn't. It was bad. They got to get rid of those new desks. They're horrible. He hit the desk, it didn't break, and then like 30 seconds later, it kind of just falls apart. It was just like, come on. And then a couple minutes later, Randy pulls the table out and does the spot again. And I was telling Des, I'm like, I wonder if that was an on-the-fly spot, pulling that table out and doing the same move again. Like, well, that didn't work. Let's do it again. I don't know. It could have. It could. You know, it could not have been. But it was a hell of a spot, and I liked it. I enjoyed pretty much all of it. Cena, like since he's been back, you can tell he's old and he's not the Cena of old. He's slower. You know, we're not getting all the stuff. But I thought he did good here. I thought this was Cena's best outing since he's been back, definitely. The one thing I didn't like was the referee bumps. I just thought it was one fine. When they did it again, I'm like, come on. Especially like when the second one went out and when Nick and then came out, the ref could have got back in right then. Why didn't he? Why did we wait? I get that they wanted to have the spot with him RKO and everybody, but because when Cena finally gave him the pin, now the guy crawls his ass back in all slow. I just didn't really care for that spot too much, but I get it, you know, whatever. But I just loved every bit of it. R-Truth coming in, I could have went with or without it. I get why he did it. And he comes out and, you know, he gets an RKO too. So I was okay with it all. Obviously, like I said, I wanted Brandy to win so bad. But being that he didn't, I thought we got enough to where I was happy with the match. Another thing I was like blah about is kind of what I said about with Becky and Lyra. They just kept doing each other's finishes and kicking out. You know, so I don't know. That part I just don't really like. Like, think about it. Like back when John would set you up, boom, set you up, give you the AA, you're done. Randy sets you up, bam, RKO, you are done. You're not kicking out. And now it's like just a normal move, you know, so wow, no, well. But I was very happy with it. I thought they both gave it their all. They both did good. At the end, though, at the end, if you notice Cena, like it looked like he was sad almost. Like
I was gonna say that, yeah.
Crowd. It looked like he was like because they were really chanting, "Thank you, Cena, thank you, Cena," and it looked like he wanted to just say, "I'm a baby," you know, "I love you guys," you know, he wanted to so bad, and I think we will get that eventually. But I mean, every bit of this was great. I was happy. I gave it a 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, guys,
First time ever I gave 2 matches an A.
yeah.
Yep.
He just blew away the DJ Colbert.
Yeah, and a backlash of all that.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Overall, guys.
B+.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to go B+. Even though, yeah, I mean, the lowest grade I have overall was B-, and that was Gunther and McAfee. And that, I mean, was an announcer against Gunther. So yeah, I'll agree with the B+. I'll go with the DJ Colbert.
And that is a clean sweep for me too. B+, definitely. I thought WWE did a really good job on putting these matches together. I enjoyed every one of these matches. Definitely a lot of excitement in all the matches. And
Like to have almost all title matches and not one change hands. I thought they did a good job. Giving us, you know,
We had WrestleMania.
right.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
And now we got Saturday night's main event coming up on the 24th of May.
Yep.
And
Tampa, Florida.
yep. We got Jey Uso and Logan Paul, so that
And then the 25th is NXT Battleground. Then a week after that, it's Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank. So it'll be a busy couple weeks there.
yes, it will be. So anyway. All right, guys. So any comments or anything you wanna make about the show? Anything stick out for you guys or?
I put together a backlash what if section if you guys want to go through it.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, It's up to you. I don't know if you guys got time or trying to leave or whatever, but I got some what ifs if you want to do them.
I got a bus I got to catch.
All right. So basically, I just kind of went with, tried to go with what we've seen, you know, at Backlash. So the first one, what if Solo and or Jeff Cobb would have caused Jacob to lose the title? Would we rather see Jacob feud with one of them, or him not have lost the title and all and keep on going with what we're getting?
I would like to see Jacob feud with one of them.
Yeah.
I think eventually it's going to happen.
Well, if you were to cause him to lose the title, then is the feud going to be with Jeff? Well, it depends on why he lost it. If Jeff Cobb actually hits Jacob Fatu, and then Jacob, and it kind of becomes kind of almost like when Solo brought in the new guys into the bloodline, and they kind of forced the other guys all out. Is that the type of situation we're looking at where Jacob's like, hey, wait a minute, why do we need him? We got me. So I think if they had cost him to lose the title, I think that would have been a good way to really ratchet up the feud that everybody assumes can happen between Solo and Jacob.
Yep.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. What if Becky would have won the IC title? Did Lyra have a good enough run at IC champ?
Greg, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think she didn't really have, in my opinion, that other than winning the title, I don't think she had that real big signature win. So I think beating Becky Lynch really solidified her title reign. If she didn't, it would have just been a title reign.
Yeah,
If that makes sense. I think this kind of starts to put the bow on what could be a good title reign, where she just, okay, she won the belt and she was just keeping it warm until somebody more important / bigger, came along to take it. So
yeah, Brandon says no, they're not pushing that title. Well, they said last night that she had 5 title defenses already, so I think that's not too bad for a women's intercontinental champion. So I think she's doing a good job as champion.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like you said, this definitely solidified it for her without a doubt. All right, so what if the fans keep cheering Dom and WWE decides, you know what, we ain't got a choice. He's a babyface now. Would that be best for his career at this point, or do we think they need to keep him where he's at?
I think they need to keep him where he's at. I think he's doing a great job just where he's at and what he's doing. Keep the title on him for a little bit, see how long he can take the IC title and go with it. But I'd like to eventually, somewhere along the line, I'd like to see him reunite with his dad. But I don't think that's going to happen. But I think they should just keep him where he is right now.
Yeah, I think if he could stay the way he is in the Judgment Day and the alignment with Liv Morgan and still be a heel but get cheered, dude, that's cool. You got the best of both worlds. You got somebody to be the top heel that gets cheered. I mean, not that he's Stone Cold Steve Austin, but Stone Cold made a living, in jail. He's not mudholing anybody. Saying what he wants, does what he wants. I'm not saying he is Stone Cold Steve Austin, but if he could remain this weasel, but get cheered the way he is and perform like he did, I mean, you gotta know, and any professional athlete will tell you, why is home court, home field advantage such a big thing? Because when the crowd gets behind you, you perform that much better. So if we're going to get a heel dominant performing like that, keep him just the way he is.
Yeah, I agree too, definitely. And speaking of, being that you mentioned Liv, it brought it to my mind. Dominic did Liv's move last night.
Yes.
For finish there. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, so what if Randy wins the title at Backlash? What does the rest of Cena's run look like if he no longer has that title? Because I feel like the whole point of his run is the title, you know. So
yeah. If he had lost his title, it would have been all this. The heel turn to beating Cody would have felt like for nothing.
Yeah.
As much as I wanted to see Randy win it, especially in his hometown, because that crowd would have been absolutely nuts if he did. I don't think I've heard an audience count to 7 louder than they did when he was hitting a 1, 2, 3. And kept counting. I think we would have all been like, well, what WTF? What the fuck was that about? We lost the title already.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree. I just think he's doing a great job.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where they go. I don't even know what the rest of his run look, unless they wanted to do something like get Randy a couple more title wins to kind of bring him up to 16, 17 with them. Then maybe they hot potato it a couple times or whatever. But yeah, I think unfortunately, the right call was made.
Yeah, I don't know if there would be enough time in the rest of this calendar year for Orton to win 14, lose, win 15, lose, win 16, lose, get to 17, and then neither one are champion, and they're both trying to get 18.
Yeah.
Right.
What if Drew wins the U.S. title? Does this help him in any way, or would people just kind of look at him like, oh, he's now kind of a mid-carder?
I think it would help him tremendously. It'll make him a Grand Slam champion. So I think it will. He'll look at it as, oh shit, I finally got the monkey off my back. I finally didn't get screwed out of a title match. So I think it'll be good for him if he wins the U.S. title.
Yeah, I think it would be. I don't think the title needs Drew McIntyre, but Drew McIntyre needs to win a title.
Yeah, I think so too. I just think it would look weird for a minute to see Drew with the U.S. title, but yeah, you're right. I think he needs one right now.
Yep.
All right. What if someone would have came out to confront Lyra after beating Becky, kind of to come out and challenge her for the IC title? Who makes the most sense?
Greg, who do you think?
Well, I mean, if she wasn't already, I'm Roxanne Perez.
I'll say Julia.
Yeah, I kind of like Roxanne, especially because they kind of been using her, more often. They kind of got her out there. Yeah, I like that. That works. I kind of wish they did, because it kind of makes me think we're going to get another Becky and Lyra match now, but who knows?
We can. I think I'd go for one more of those.
Yeah, I
wouldn't win again. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. All right. What if you had the chance to pick one title match at Backlash to switch would have switched hands, what match would it have been?
I would have went U.S. title. I would have put it on Drew.
Okay.
Why you didn't? That's how you pick. I thought that's why you would have done it. If one title, if I had to change one title,